Hello and welcome back to the Fools on a Hill podcast. This is episode 88. It's been so long since we've done it. We've all forgotten how to do it. I'm Cal and I'm joined by Yanni and Liam. How are we, boys?
Which one am I again?
You're Yanni, I think.
And who am I?
I've never seen you before in my life.
Oh. Well, I'm glad to be here.
Oh, I'm glad to be back. I looked before we start recording to see what episode number we're on. 88. I have already said.
Ooh,
but
angel
the
number.
last main episode we did of the weekly episodes was on the 2nd of December. It's now the 9th of February.
Oh,
Wow.
That's a big break we've had there, boys.
I bet
We've been
all our
busy, though.
listeners are beside themselves, not
Beside
ourselves.
us.
Yeah, they've all been reaching out, sending messages. Where are you? What's going on? I've had people knocking at the door. Listen, be patient. We're coming back. Just like Jesus, there will be a second rising.
Stronger than ever, some would say.
Mm.
Some would say.
Some would say.
Definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Is that what we do here?
I don't expect anything. Ever.
I just come along for the ride, really.
Anything we want to be speaking about before we get into the app?
What's your horrific sound insider like?
Yeah, so very grateful to all family members who buy me alcohol at Christmas time. But this is a cranberry and clementine cider, which, if you know me, doesn't sound like me.
It sounds like the most Tory cider you've yet done it.
It smells a bit like, I said the dentist before. It just smells a bit like cementy. It's not medicinal. It's just a bit
Cement?
earthy. Like, like a proper, like.
So many
Have you ever
different
smelled-
smells.
have you ever
You've
smelled
given
cement?
3 different descriptions of
No,
the smell.
but it's like, I'll give it a taste test. I don't know.
Go on then.
Oh, that is quite sour.
Oh, sour, nice.
Yeah, it'll do for a pint.
It tastes like Fuji 9.
No, he's back on. Would I lie to you this week?
I saw that, buzzing about that.
Yeah, me too.
Liam, what are you drinking?
There's that warm,
there it
welcoming
is.
crack of the Guinness there.
There it is.
I'd love to
nice
say that
sound
was
of the black
planned,
stuff.
but that was just.
That's just how good we are. We're so in sync with one another now.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Just good old Guinness. What
Yanni,
about you, Jan?
yeah,
What you
go on.
drinking?
Oh,
Still here à toi.
stick to what you know. Stick to
Exactly.
what you know. Should we get into it? Because it's a long one.
It's going to be a long one. There's a couple of changes.
sounded-
Mainly, I'm no longer in the same place. Get used to it. That's how it is. We're going to jump right into the next section, which I can't remember what we decided was going to be, actually.
Just hot off
So-
the press, mate. Just straight into it.
Straight off the press, my son.
Steaming. It's hot off the press. It's a shame, innit?
I don't get that, mate.
Don't get it?
Nope.
No?
Nope. Don't know what to shame. What could you possibly be getting at there?
Oh, speaking of shame, Liam, it's the name of the first band we're covering, and they've released a new song, Six Pack. I think they've released another song. Did we end up covering that one? prior?
No.
We did back in November.
Oh, fucking hell.
Fingers of Steel. It came out back in November, so I assume we covered it then.
Okay. All right.
Um,
Yeah, this
was-
one's Six Pack, and it's full of meh.
yeah, speaking of six packs, I, Mr. Sixpack, don't enjoy this song. It doesn't sound good. I don't like the sound of it. The mix sounds bad.
Yeah.
And the song itself, I'm not getting a song
Enjoyment.
there. I think from Drunk Tank Pink to this is such a. I mean, they've explored this kind of bit more raucous style in the past, definitely.
Raucous?
The first album's a bit more kind of heavy hitting like this, but
I think you'd use
It was-
the
it was-
word raucous, mate.
Raucous, yeah. But the earlier stuff was a bit more hard hitting than this. This feels very like kind of just light. Like there's no bass to the song or anything. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't feel heavy in any way. It feels very throwaway. Just in like the sound.
There's only really
production
one
sort of thing.
song that I feel like can get away with this guitar tone and style, and that is No Pussy Blues.
Great tune.
But this one, yeah, just not good.
Not good at all. The music, this is the only positive I can think of for the track.
Oh,
Is
don't
it
put
sounded
damper on it.
like an old Wolf Mother track. I think it was Woman. It just sounded like that kind of era.
Right.
But yeah, as you say, mix is shit. I'm not remotely excited for this album
No.
based on this and Fingers of Steel.
Not
so-
at all.
I'm considering cancelling that pre-order.
I think you
I
should,
would.
mate.
I'm shocked that you pre-ordered it based off Fingers of Steel.
Well, I think I pre-ordered it before that
Oh,
because I was, I was looking forward to it. So imagine the disappointment.
Good job it
yeah.
wasn't with
Um,
hard cash.
I'll give it. Well, no, it is.
Oh.
That's why I'm considering cancelling.
Well,
when we
That's how deep it is. That's how big a
Deep it
situation
is.
I'm gonna give it one more. I'm gonna give it one more single.
why?
One more
It's
single.
not worth it. Two of the
it's
the
out.
first
Very,
one
I'm
was
sure
shite.
it's out
Give it
very
one-
soon, Liam. So I'd crack
It's
on.
in like 2 weeks. But what about if the next single's like incredible?
It won't be.
It could be.
When we reviewed Drunk Tank Pink, I think I said we'd be hard pressed to find 9 or 10 better albums than that. I would be
Yep.
very surprised if this album is on our top 10 list come the end of 2023.
Oh, you know what, Cal? It's a good job you mentioned that because speaking of our top 10 list, we have a lovely video up. It's been up for a couple of days now. I presume a week at this point. I can't remember. And it's our album of the year. No,
Fools Awards.
Falls Awards
2022.
22. And it features our album of the year, top 10, as well as a number of other awards. And you should watch it because, unlike this, there's production value.
There's real quality.
Minimal.
Real quality.
Very minimal.
But we are very
Um,
funny. And that's
We are.
what you should watch it for.
Moving on, though, to the task at hand. We have Temples with Gamma Rays. I am just going to butt in before Yanni shits on my parade and say, this is probably my song of the year so far.
Oh, grow up, Colin.
I am obsessed with this,
Grow
and I
up.
have no idea why. I think it just slaps. The synth is great. I just love it. It's just a great chorus. I really like it.
I'm confused. Did we listen to the same song?
Yes, I would like to say it's my song of the year before a song that was released later in the month,
Right.
maybe yesterday.
Okay. FIFA.
Oh no, yeah, Callum. What? What's
Just-
wrong with you?
Just see.
We'll wait and see. I'm confused. I want to just say FIFA tune straight away.
Yeah.
Um,
heavy
Say that like it's a bad thing.
Well, it's not a good FIFA tune. Such a generic chord pattern. I will say that the vocals were nice and the melody of the vocals was also nice, but very generic.
Yeah, it's I like the sound of everything. Everything sounded nice. I think the production was good. But yeah, the song itself very generic, very far from like what I remember Temples being from like that first album.
Yeah.
Very kind of they felt unique at that time. Really going back to that kind of psychedelic 60s style, and this just feels just standard like something that Glass Animals would put out.
Brutal.
Sly dig there.
Wasn't that slow?
Yeah, true.
Kelly?
Kelly.
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 Oh my
Kel?
God. Kelly.
It's Kelly, I think.
Kelly. I don't know why are we stuck on this.
Oh,
brilliant.
True Love Knows No Death. The latest single from Block Party frontman Kelly.
Keel.
I think it's all right. The guitar's all right. It's just fun melody. I like his voice, but I don't really like the song.
This doesn't stand out at all for me. It was my only problem. Like, I feel like it was just passing me by and this sounds brutal, but I didn't mean it when I put it. Feels like it's missing an interesting part.
Yeah, definitely. I think the main guitar riff at first sounded interesting to me. I was like, this seems a bit like odd. And then obviously that's played multiple times throughout the song. And then for some reason, like after the first chorus, when it came back in, it sounded off key or something. It just didn't. It then didn't work for me at all. I don't know what happened. Maybe don't know if the way she started singing was slightly different. But yeah, the song itself didn't do anything for me. There was a few points where the kind of the vocals, like the melody and the lyrics, just didn't fit very well, or like what he was saying was a bit like, ooh. And also the
Bit like
the
what?
album, like, you know, and also the single art of him holding a copy of Silent Alarm on fire really, really hurts my soul. You not seen that, Jan?
No.
I'm sure this is a part 2 to an album, and I'm sure the part 1 artwork was him burning "The Queen Is Dead."
No,
Or maybe that was a single release. Then.
that's the single
No.
before this single.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry. You were close enough.
Well,
It is part 2 to an album though. The first album was Waves 1 or something like that, and this is Flames 2 or Fire 2 or something like that. But yeah, I'm not exactly looking forward to
Liam,
it.
you done?
I just literally just finished. If you just be a bit more patient, Yanni. God damn it.
Speaking of Liam, I'm going to need your assistance with this next one, my friend. It's Paramore. And what is the name of the song?
Is
Oh,
Hang on.
that was low in the throat, that.
yeah. C'est comme ça.
Yeah. I like that.
You're welcome.
I could feel that.
La 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 la.
This song was annoyingly catchy. When it first started, I thought, I fucking hate this. But by the second run through the chorus, I was like, I'm actually quite enjoying this. And I really like the guitar parts. They were very interesting. Cool sounds that were going on with them. So, congratulations, Haley and Co. With this track.
yeah, I've not missed that. Go on.
No, carry on. My almost interruption was so slight and so quiet. The fact you stopped for that is unbelievable. I'd fully resigned to the fact that you were carrying on
I'm
speaking.
very conscious about being rude.
I literally went. That's all I did. That was the only noise. Carry on, Carl.
I'm more confused about the fact you told me to carry on and then proceeded
then
to
spoke.
moan about me breaking you off.
You stopped. You stopped to let me carry on. I had nothing more to say. I decided I wasn't going to say it.
Hey, boys, this episode's going to be long enough as it is. Come on.
Yeah, crack on, Carl. Go on.
I agree with Yanni. Yeah, the verses are great. The chorus is infuriating, but I do like it more now. I did write it's a shame because it actually slaps, but yeah, I'm just starting to think that the whole song slaps.
It's actually Paramore, this one. I've already done Shame earlier on. I have to say, after a few listens of this, we've only just started, baby. After a few listens of this, I just don't know what I think of it. I don't know if I still find it annoying or if I'm starting to vibe. Maybe I don't.
It's going to be one of those
I'm not
songs
sure.
that goes round in it. Like you come round on it, you come on it,
Maybe.
you come round
Come
on
all
it, and
over
then go off it, and
Um,
ejaculate. Moving on, Sleaford Mods, 2 tracks here. You got UK Grim, and then Force 10 from Navarone. Thank you.
Yeah.
Keel. The first track, UK Grim.
This is UK Grim.
Pretty grim. It's an alright bass line, but this was just fucking boring.
Yeah, I really like the verses and the music behind the track, which is I often do with Sleaford Mods. The chorus I found a little bit trickier to get behind, mainly due to the lack of rhyme, which works sometimes, but I don't know. It was just the way he said things like "keep your desk area tidy." It just I don't know.
Keep your desk area tidy.
It's cool, but
I couldn't even do it.
I don't know. Have you seen the video though? It's Stone Cold Steve in it.
Which lost him.
Is it real Steve Austin?
Not Stone Cold Steve. What was it? What's it fucking called?
Callum, for fuck's sake.
No, I know it's not that, but what's it actually called? Cold War Steve. That's what it is. Not fucking Stone Cold Steve.
Wow.
Two completely
Very different
people.
individuals.
I'm tired.
Really different scenario there. It's my turn to talk.
Tick.
Yeah, I just found this one dull, to be honest. I'm always a bit hot and cold with Sleaford mods. They do some things that really interest me, and then most of the time I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one wasn't ugh.
I don't think I've ever not been in when it comes to the Sleaford Mods track.
Watch Job Seeker on
Rugged
Jules
so
Holland.
good.
No.
Jules
Horrid.
Holland.
Nice.
Josh Holland.
Walker Mindy on Jules Holland with Billy Nomates.
Seriously, Yanni, watch it and you'll change your mind.
I don't think so.
And Nudge It is such a tune.
Nudge It is a tune.
So good.
Ibiza with Prodigy.
Second track that I've already mentioned, so you're not hearing it again, is slightly more interesting, especially when, and I put here, what's her face, because I do my research, comes in. However, I thought like it went on for too long.
Florence is her name, is it not?
Yeah,
That's what
Florence.
I said. What did you hear?
Yeah, there's no real surprises from this track, is there? But
I gasped.
but it's better than UK Grim for sure. Florence's edition is definitely welcome. Works well, although I wasn't really a fan of when they did the chorus together.
I didn't mind that, to be honest. I enjoyed all of Florence's involvement in this. The way she keeps saying "fucking" is really good. Although what she was talking about, no idea. No, it doesn't make any sense if you look at those lyrics. But she's just got such a I don't know, the way she speaks is very, very interesting and nice to listen to. And musically, this is much more interesting than the other one. Like a 1,000,000% more interesting.
That's right.
You could actually feel yourself vibing to it a little bit. But yeah, still overall, it's better. I'm listening to it now and I'm actually grooving to it a little bit, so I kind of don't feel like it's something negative and grooving to it.
Nice.
Inside.
Next up, the Goa Express with the song Portrait. I thought this was enjoyable on the first listen, but probably not something that I'd ever put on again. But then I've also but I could be wrong.
I do agree with you.
Ambiguous.
Shock horror. I thought the vocals were a bit Crazy Taxi America 2002 era. The track itself was pretty fun, but I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever listen to it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little bit too just kind of generic for me, really. There was nothing that really stood out.
Glad we kept on the list then,
I
boy.
feel like I've heard this song 100 times before. What was that, Yanni?
I love you. Next up, we've got Cowboy with the song Tennis. I do remember when you told us to listen to this thing, because I looked at it and I thought, be arsed listening to this again. I am not interested in it. But I did. And guess what? I'm still not fucking interested in it.
Yeah. Are these the new Nice One Darlings, as you coined them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get it. It's
Well, I get why they're nice one darlings. They fit into that space. And they're quite young, I think, as well. Not that really that much, but I think they're like 17, 18.
I feel like I should like it based on what I like, but I just don't. I don't know why. I don't know if it's oversaturated now or what, but or if it's just not that good. I don't know.
I think
But
that's a fair point. There's very much an oversaturation of this kind of music at the moment. Not at the moment, actually, but it's kind of been and gone, that oversaturation. And we were in the thick of it with this podcast. So, but no, I like this song somewhat. There's something different about the vocals, are quite unique, like the backing vocals and stuff. And I do find that kind of main hook quite mesmerizing. But
what a word.
I'm not sure if the song itself is super kind of like
Fragilistic.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't know if it's like super like fragilistic. But I'd definitely be interested to hear more. There's parts of the song that I find quite interesting, for sure.
Yeah, no. Next up, and I'm very excited about this, boygenius.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah. 3 tracks to cover. First off, $20. Immediately hooked.
Mm-hmm.
Sufficiently early 2010 sounding.
Yep.
What a fool I am for not listening sooner. I very much like this track.
Yeah. I too very much like this track. I would say I love this track.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful.
Well, you say it because then I can.
Yeah. The overlapping lyrics in the bridge are fabulous. Chorus is fantastic as well. Vocal, everything. It's just fan-fucking-tastic, in my opinion.
Do you know what, guys? Do you know what?
Shit. JT.
Oh, here it is.
Oh.
Hello in the mirror.
Oh. Yeah, spot on. Really good. Great return to form. As soon as it kicks in, brilliant. I think musically it reminds me a little bit of the Black Country New Road. Don't you heard of them? The Black Country New Road. I can't think of which song it is off the top of my head now, but it's got a similar kind of rhythm to it, and then just musically throughout, it's quite cinematic, like especially like in the bridge and stuff.
Take it to the bridge.
But yeah, really good. I don't remember. We did listen to this that Julian Baker song album some time ago. And I'm wondering if I should revisit it because I think of the three, the other two are both sung by the other two. This might be my favourite of the three.
This is definitely my favourite. Yeah.
Oh.
So I'm wondering maybe we should revisit that Julian Baker album, see if it's.
Have you boys listened to? Because this is going to be. Is this? Sorry, words. I'll get them out. Have they released anything before this? Like an album?
Yeah, not an
EP.
album. Yeah.
EP. Have you listened to the EP?
No.
Yeah.
Is it similar to this?
From what I remember, yeah.
I'm gonna go and revisit that then, because
it's similar to a mix of these three songs.
Yeah. That
these aren't like different to what they put out previously. That's answers up there.
It does. Thank you. That would have been nice.
I think it's like a 25-minute EP or something. It's like 8 tracks. Something like that.
I'll get on that after sometime. Emily, I'm so very, very sorry. Actually, no, I'm just sorry. Emily, I'm sorry. Is a nice tune in that Phoebe style that we like. That's enough of that. I liked it.
Yeah, me too. Emotional, lovely. Reminded me of Skull Crusher, which feels strange to say because obviously these are a lot more well known than Skull Crusher, but it just felt like a Skull Crusher tune.
Yeah, get that totally. No, I really like this one. That's why I was a bit more. This is close to $20 for me for very different reasons, but I like the chorus.
The next
is
song,
just beautiful.
Mate. It's the song that follows it.
Oh, shut up. The chorus is just wonderful, and then there's like some sounds in the background that just kind of it's very nice. It's just a very nice song.
Yes,
and Phoebe's voice is just incredible.
Finally,
the harmonies as well. Sorry, the harmonies obviously throughout the three different voices. Great. Going on.
Next up, we got True Blue.
Baby, I love you.
He was on the edge of his seat waiting for you to say that.
Don't say another word, Yanni.
This guy.
I like the transition between Emily, I'm sorry, into this. I couldn't tell if there was a transition between $20 and Emily. I say I couldn't tell, I wasn't looking for it. But then when it happened into True Blue, I noticed it. Anyway, this is also very nice and possibly my least favourite of the three. But that's not because it's bad, it's still good.
Nothing more to add.
Well, dear.
Exactly my thoughts as well, yeah.
Beautiful. Well
done, gang.
Gang shit. Next up, The National. Tropic Morning Blues. This was surprisingly enjoyable.
Tropic Morning News? No?
What did I say? Blues.
Is that not what you said?
Blues. You know what? Tropic Morning News it is.
What were your thoughts on the track though, Yanni? Because I just
said surprisingly enjoyable.
Yes.
Car crash. This is a car crash.
Oh, you can tell we're out of practice. Yeah, this is the first national song that I've properly gelled with.
Yeah.
The vocals are a lot more engaging from, admittedly, the limited national tracks I've heard. I like the instrumentation. It felt emotional. And I can get on board with a full project like this. So let's hope it's in this vein, please.
Yeah, I also very much enjoyed this song. I recently, as you guys know, went and listened to The Boxer.
As did I.
Which, is fairly similar to this. I don't feel like this is that far from that album. But but nothing really stood out from that album very much. Whereas this kind of does stick with me a little bit. I had the melody stuck in my head earlier.
That's what I think it is. I think there's a bit more melody.
I think so, yeah. But yeah, it's very nice. I think it's got a great voice. And you can see where a band like Kanga Youth is influenced by The National, clearly. You can definitely see some similarities there. That's good. It's good stuff.
Brilliant, Liam. Fantastic stuff.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great,
You're welcome.
Great. Malady up next. Been a while.
Lady.
Yeah. Pressure builds.
Can I jump in?
No.
No.
If they could have made the most basic version of their sound, this would be it.
Okay. Well, I was going to say something along that ilk and say that I'm really losing faith that this band are going to deliver.
Yeah.
London I Love You is a great song. Everyone
Slapper.
knows who listens to this podcast how much we like that song. The next few have been all right. This is just...
Yeah.
It just is, yeah. Just is. It's just like they've been asked to kind of make a song that just encompasses their sound to give to a record label boss to just appease them so they can make something better. But they've released it. I just don't know if I need to release it. I just don't really think this need... I don't know. The vocals sounded weird as well. I felt like there's auto-tune or something going on towards the beginning. Or maybe there is, but it just didn't sound good, is what I mean.
Well, when we saw them live, they had a decent set.
Yeah.
I don't know if this was played, but this, I don't know. It was just...
There were some slow ones. Maybe this was. Or maybe in the context of an album, this isn't... It's not that bad. It's just not up to kind of what
it sounds
we'd
like
hope to get from
a filler song in an album. Like just one
Yeah.
to sort of pad the sound of what they're trying to get across. Pad out the sound. But yeah, just
It's track 8, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just before the last couple.
Yeah.
The pick back up again to finish it
Definitely.
off. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you, Liam. English teacher.
Thank you.
With the song about love. Boring. Who put this on? Who left this on? Why did we decide we were going to cover this?
Well, we like English Teacher here.
Yeah, Yanni,
Speak
come
for
on.
yourselves.
I like the music as normal. I like how heavy it got, but I don't love the excessive repeated lyrics at the end.
Throughout.
Well, yeah, throughout. It's not really the end, is it? It's 2 minutes of the song. I like the idea, but the direction needed work in my opinion.
I definitely agree with that last thing you just said there, Carl. I quite like this song. Yeah, again, in principle, I like the guitars, the bass. I like the vocal melody. I think that's quite reminds me of like old advert music, like an Argos advert or something. I don't know why. Christmas time. But yeah, I think the execution is missing something a little bit. It reminds me a bit of Pompoko. That's
I have not listened
That's
to
my final
them
thought.
since the last time we had to listen
I
to
think
them.
it's that kind of stabbing guitar. Bam, bam, bam. It's quite Pompoko-ish.
Wow. That was a very
Just
good stabbing guitar. Next up, we've got Eve Schumer with the song, and I'm going to butcher the name probably, Echolalia? Echolalia? Echolalia. Oh, la 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 la.
Yeah. La 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 la.
Dave smashed it with this track. It
Haven't they
is
just?
naughty. The bass line in this is tasty. And yeah, it's this is repetitive, but it just sounds good.
Yanni, I'm going to have to stop necking on with you because you don't half take the words out of my mouth. Yeah, I'm very excited for this next big project of theirs.
Yeah, me too. Absolute banger is what I'm coming out with. Absolute banger. Every time I listen to it, I enjoy it more. It sounds, as you said, Yanni, so good. It sounds great. And every time it comes on and the way they sing along it's just kind of, you can't help but groove along to it.
Groovy.
It's so
baby.
infectious. And in a good way.
Yeah, man. A good infection. Slowthai with the song Selfish next. Just doesn't get me going.
Fair enough. I wasn't anticipating you, either of you, really enjoying this, but in my opinion, it's the best song
In the world.
No, Slowthai is released definitely since the first record. just gets heavy. It's just good. I enjoy it, but it's not pulling up any trees. I will admit. Is that the saying?
Strange
I
turn
don't
phrase.
know what you just said.
I think
there.
that's the
Why
saying.
would they be pulling up trees?
I think that's the saying. No.
No.
But why? Why would it be
Pulling up trees.
I'm gonna
That's
have
not
to
bad.
Google
pulling
this.
up any trees?
Not pulling.
What
up.
pulls up trees?
Nothing.
An evil
It's definitely.
forest
Hang on.
giant.
Coined by Michael Fish as self-deprecating humour after his 1987 gaffe, one definition of pulling up trees is travelling fast. Okay, so it's travelling slowly. It's not doing much. I was right. Proceed.
Nah,
I still don't agree with it though.
Yeah,
And that's what
in
matters.
principle, I completely disagree. I agree that this is probably the best thing he's ever done. From what I've heard. Okay, Yanni, shake.
Have you not listened to Tea and Biscuits?
Tea and Biscuits is the best thing he's ever done.
Okay. I don't know if I don't think I've ever listened to
Drug
his earlier
dealer.
stuff.
When
Not
life's not feel.
But from what I've heard, this is the best he's done, and I still don't really care for it much. The music's all right. The music's all right. I just don't like what he adds to the song.
Yeah.
I just don't find his kind of
correct.
style of singing or whatever interesting.
And it is the return now of HMLTD. Long awaited, I must say. They've been teasing they're doing something for so long involving worms.
So long.
They've been chirping on about worms till the sun comes in. The first
Hang on, let's not glaze over
Till
that.
the sun comes in.
Don't glaze over
What?
that saying after you just gave me shit for a proper saying.
Sorry?
Two wrongs don't make a right, Carl.
Yeah.
But no, that isn't.
You know,
Isn't right either.
don't go worming around, as they say. You know, worm lands.
The early worm catches the dirt.
Worm lands is the name of this first song off the next album they're going to be releasing. If this was the opener, which I found out it is not, then I can sort of see it, but because I know it's not, so that was a completely pointless thing to say.
Convoluted way of telling this.
It's just a poor man's Black Midi,
Oh, fucking hell, yeah.
and I don't even like Black Midi, so
Yeah, it's just, again, that is what I've written down. The music is doing some interesting stuff, but I'm not a fan of the vocals, really. I've only listened to it a few times, and I'm hoping that it'll be a grower, but I'm not really that confident.
I do think it's grown on me as I've listened to it. I still don't see myself just putting this track on, but as it's been coming up in this playlist, kind of get into it a little bit more. I think musically I do find it quite interesting. I find it enjoyable to listen to in a weird way.
oh,
Excuse me, Annie. But yeah, vocally is just a bit too strange, and like I just kind of, I don't know. It just puts it leaves a bit of a bad taste in my mouth. I don't know why. Something about it.
It'll be the worms,
Bit metallic tasting, you know, like a worm.
like my cider. It's a bit cementy.
oh, what a fucking idiot I am.
Yeah, I need to delete that.
No, for some reason I didn't add Opus Kinks to the playlist of songs to listen to.
Oh,
Dumb shit.
And so I put it on then in the background just to try and listen to it very briefly while you were talking. And the
Yeah,
video I was watching started with like a siren sound. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Took my headphones off. Turns out it's part of the video. So, you two crack on with this and I'll just skirt in right at the end.
well, as Yanni kindly pointed out, the next track is Dust by Opus King. I think this does what HMLTD are trying to do a million times better. The vocals in this track are great and they accentuate the music. The horns are fantastic as usual. It's just heavy as fuck, and I love Opus King so much. It comes straight out of the blocks, and what I will say is it's fully expected that Opus King will release a song like this at this point, but it keeps getting better, and they aren't standing still, so it doesn't feel boring, and that is testament to how good they truly are. And as I always say, if you've not seen them live, go and see them live.
you're spot on, Carl.
You're
Straight
so
out the
spot on.
blocks, straight up your arse. I think great song, great. They need to more people need to listen to Opus King
But I would also quite like to gatekeep them for a little bit longer.
forever and ever. Yeah, I don't want anyone to listen to them ever again. But like the fact that HMLTD, that track has almost definitely had more traction than this. It's like we just kind of you're fishing in the wrong pond here, guys.
Yeah, with the wrong worms. This is just from what I've heard, and obviously it was very brief there, but yeah, it was a great track, and you're spot on with your words that you use, Cal, in that order that you used them. Perfect.
I can scarcely imagine the stanky bass face from our mate in this track.
Our mate.
Just saying.
Oh boy.
A good time, boy. Next up, we've got Geese with Cowboy Nudes. That was very good, mate.
That was Bob
really
on.
good.
Thanks, guys. Cheer for that. I surprised myself there.
Sample. I really enjoyed this. Great production on it as well. The vocals were fantastic. And I just overall liked the playing of it. It was dead chill. There was a part where it wasn't obviously chill itself, the music, but like everything else just sounded nice. It sounded really good.
It did. Proper Sunset Drive feels.
Yeah, man.
Particularly loved the guitar intro. Just a very good track, and I wasn't anticipating enjoying it as much as I do.
Yeah, it's not what I remember that Geese album sounding like, which is interesting. I haven't listened to it since it came out, but I definitely don't remember it sounding like this. But this is very, summertime, good vibes. You can feel the heat coming off this song. Do you know what I mean? You can see those heat waves. And at first I didn't like the break when it kind of went very... The best way they do shout New York City. It's very New Yorky. I hope you get what I mean by that.
Mm-hmm. I know what you mean.
I didn't really like that at first, but I've grown to like that more, and I like the way it comes back into the kind of the beginning part. That chorus sounds great. The singing is wonderful. What a great catchy little bit of singing. Backing vocals are great as well. I just wish there was more of it. Wish there was more of it. I want to only hear more of this song forever and ever and ever. I hope that whatever this album's going to be, if there is an album, I don't know if it's been announced, but I hope it stays like this, because this is Sound of the Summer.
Sound of the Summer. Next up, Westerman with CSI Petrolona. Sort of Bon Iver vibes I was getting from this. But I didn't really enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm pretty much on that boat as well. I like the emotion. I thought it was evident throughout the track, and I particularly liked the vocals when they were more high pitched. Just doesn't really do much for me though. I don't know why. Maybe it was I did do all this in like one chunk the first time, and then I keep my initial thoughts as gospel when I re-listen. So it's probably not going to change. So,
were you done that, Carl?
Yeah, I was. Just felt like
Lovely.
making an extra noise.
Great. I really like one of their other songs called Confirmation that I heard sometime. I've never ever listened to anything else.
I'm glad for that
So
bit of
rude.
extra context.
So rude. Honestly, this guy. And this isn't that far away from that. That was a bit more poppy than this, I suppose. But I really like this kind of style. You're right, a bit Bon Iver-y. And I just think the vocals and the guitar sound really good together, like the actual kind of effect that's going on. The high singing part in the chorus is great as well. And on one listen, did you just say that? It did seem familiar as I was saying it. It was my own original thought, but I was like, I'm sure this is... Oh, sorry, Carl. I wasn't paying attention, clearly. Now you know how I feel every week.
Sorry?
Sorry? What was I going to say? Oh, on one listen to this, I realised that if you put Matty Healy on this song, this could be a 1975 song. This is what the rest of the album should sound like if they stuck with part of the band.
I'll take your word for
Now
it.
keep that in mind and listen to it again. It would fit perfectly with part of the band.
Okay.
The way he sings, the phrasing and stuff of how he sings, so Matty Healy. Lyrics, nothing, man.
So Matty Healy. Next up, Sam Burton with the song Maria. Not Mariah.
definitely Maria.
Maria. I couldn't remember how he sung it. That's why I was getting confused. And I've been known to make mistakes. I don't get why we're covering this.
Yeah. I like the vibe. I don't know if the execution was quite there. Not really sure why, but that's just how I felt. I would be interested in listening to more, but I wouldn't necessarily go out of my way. So thank God for streaming platforms, eh?
Yeah, I mean, I just put this on because it was at the same time I was listening to Cowboy Nudes. This song and the Westerman song both got recommended, and I listened to them quickly. And I was like, "Oh, these sound pretty good." So by the way, if you both listen to this and don't want to talk about it, you can just say that. You know. You don't have
Well,
to
no,
cover
I
it.
have. We just did.
Well, here we are. Yeah, I think it's very nice. It's very reminiscent of the good old days. I think the vocals are maybe just a bit off in execution, but like the idea is there 100%. And I think a nice album and a full album of this brand new
Would make me want to off myself.
golden oldie music. Nice. Another good summertime song. Lovely, pleasant.
Okay.
Sam, if you're listening, Yanni didn't mean that.
No,
he
I
didn't.
enjoy my life too much to want
He
to do
just
that.
doesn't enjoy enjoyment. I said it.
It's a bit fucking unnecessary, mate.
Deal with it.
Next up, we've got Flying Colours with Goodbye to Music. Dear God, this is boring. They have not
So
passed
boring.
with Flying Colours. I hope
Oh.
Goodbye to Music is what they're planning on doing.
Well, I was
back,
happy
baby.
to have a bit of
We're
a.
back.
I was happy to have a bit of shoegaze
so.
influence in the week.
I
Guitar
bet you
sounded nice, and I like the vocals in the chorus. It's not the best shoegaze song I've ever heard, but I
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
Could be the worst.
I liked it when it went goodbye. Mm-hmm. That's it.
I like that.
You're,
I like that the first few times, and then
you're on point today with your voice, Liam,
What can I say?
and the sounds that
I'm
you're
like
making.
I'm like a parrot.
That's what they
okay.
say.
That's what they say.
That's what they say. Have you got anything to add, mate? Or not?
I said it. I said I like that bit, nothing else.
Okay. Next up, we've got. Is it meant to be bedroom?
Bedroom.
Yeah, bedroom. With It's Just a Bit of Blood. Boring.
Yep.
Boring.
I liked the heavy intro. The vocals are more Radiohead than the Smile are.
Callum, what?
Not
You can't
not
be making
As
that
an
kind of.
expert here.
not in
You
not in
can't throw this
execution.
shit out.
Not in execution. In attempt. I just think there's some autocorrect going on here. I think there's a few too many unnecessary party. I think that's parts.
There's not enough party.
Yeah,
More party.
the intro came back in too much, and it was a chorus. I don't know. I like the heavier direction. I like what it's going for, but it just feels like a demo.
It does sound like a demo. You're right. Do you know what, Cal? Gold star for you today for spot on comment.
Gold
of the week.
star for Robot Boy. Listen to that song instead, because that's a slapper.
Yeah, listen to that, Cal. Have you ever listened to that song?
No.
Go on.
Oh, listen to it.
Go on it.
Listen to the original. Listen to the Kiwi Junior cover. Listen to the John Hour cover.
Yeah.
Listen to them all. Enjoy them all.
Yeah, man.
Great song. What was I saying now about this song?
Probably what I just said. Just a bit more
I
long-winded.
don't remember. I don't remember Bedroom sound like this.
No.
Am I wrong in saying that?
No, I did say that I appreciate the heavier direction.
Oh,
that
how
was-
can I parse that from that comment, Cal? Who do you think I'm, fucking Professor Layton?
No,
You
yeah, I
don't
think
pronounce-
I think bedroom were a little bit more like bedroom pop.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I just didn't care for this. Yeah, it just sounded like a demo. It wasn't something of what I'm after. It's not what I'm here for.
Sound.
You know.
Cheek Face, they're back with the song The Fringe.
Number one fan right here.
The Fringe.
So many voices at once then. You know what you're getting.
Pretty good though, isn't it?
It's all right.
I found
alright.
myself just going, I wanna be on the fringe a lot this week.
It's okay. It's not a bad
yeah.
track, but like it's okay. Sorry, Liam, go on.
It's definitely not. It's not. It's not.
Words?
Do we know if this is a single from an upcoming album?
Assume so.
No, actually, I've seen them on Instagram saying there probably won't be an album coming out till next year or later this year. So I think this is just a standalone single.
Glad you asked
they
the
have done
question, mate.
before. I sorted my own memory out. Sorted it out. I don't. What the fuck am I trying to say here? I don't enjoy this as much as I've enjoyed anything else that I've listened to from them. Like anything at all. I think this is probably the weakest track I've heard from them.
Even over a giant cup of noodles.
That's one of the best songs they've released. A giant cup of noodles. That's so good. The chorus on this one's alright, but I just don't care for the verses musically, vocally at all. But yeah, the chorus is good, and I like the switch up of like melody from the chorus to the verse. I think that's quite. It seems like that would be quite awkward to play in a way. I appreciate that, pushing the Bert a little bit.
Despite how
Not really.
Pushing the what?
Bert.
oh, fucking Karis is here.
Pushing Bert.
Despite the fact that I've got into Cheat Face recently, it's going to be a really
Have you?
sad day when it's the same song in it really
Yeah.
every time, and there is gonna be a day where I acknowledge that, and I'm gonna go back to hating them. And I've had a real character development, so hopefully this extra year that they're taking to release the next album, as Liam has so delightfully informed us.
From what I understand, it's already recorded, so
Just do like a thrash metal thing. Just completely change it up, but with the same vocal delivery. That'd be fun.
And now we move on to possibly the best song of this entire recording.
Preach it, brother!
Woo!
So peachy. It's the Lemon Twigs with Corner of My Eye.
I'm glad we agree on this already. I'm so glad.
My God, what a fucking tune.
Yeah, dreamy, innit? Very dreamy.
The vibes are so right. It's obviously meant to sound like something from the 60s, and it fucking nails it.
It's unbelievable.
But it sounds so fresh, so interesting. It's going straight on after we finished.
I put it on. I had it on earlier as we were setting up, and Yanni was listening as well. Just because I wanted to listen to it, it wasn't for any other reason. It wasn't like me doing a last minute revision.
God, imagine enjoying just listening to music.
I just wanted to listen to it. But honestly, like I've listened to Lemon Twig stuff before, and they always kind of they're pretty good at getting like that old style music. I don't think it's always been this quite like this style. It's usually a bit heavier from what I recall, but it's always seemed a little bit kind of. I've not really enjoyed the songs themselves as much. But this one, mate, this fucking song it's irresistible, isn't it? It's so good. It's that like early Simon and Garfunkel sound. It's so good. And like the chorus is beautiful. The harmonies, what a tune!
Beautiful.
What a tune!
Beautiful.
I wish I could like play this to some old people. I also like my granddad was around and played this song to him because he'd love it. And I just find that so mad that this is like someone's releasing music like that now.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Wow. That was quite nice.
Should we go on a hunt for some old people and just force them to listen to a band?
I'm sure they'd love it.
Yeah.
In the middle of the night.
You're coming with me, don't worry. Callum, thanks for your lovely words on this. Moving on to the band Squid. They're back, and the song is called Swing, in brackets, in a dream, close brackets. This song, I'm really sorry to say, just passed me by. I don't think there was anything really that grabbed me in this.
Well,
and yeah, I mean, I wasn't the biggest fan of the album they released.
Neither was I, and I think this is such a massive step up from most of that album, if not all of it, bar Narrator maybe. I was a bit worried when I saw it was 5 minutes again, which in comparison to Bright Green Field is probably the shortest song on that record. Well, it would be. I'm hoping that going into the next album, it's more quality than quantity. And I think this is a very good start. I think it's a massive step up from most of Bright Green Field.
I agree with that. I do think it's a step up from Bright Green Field, but I also agree with what you said, Yanni. This just kind of passed me by at the same time. Like somehow they both exist at the same time, but that's the case. Like I can acknowledge when listening to it properly that it is better than what I remember that album being like, but it just doesn't stand out. There's no like catchy parts. I don't know what that is. I can't really place how that's the case.
Yeah.
I think it's because I think just musically it's just an improvement, but they're losing a lot of that kind of like narrator, that catchy hook, which gets stuck in your ears.
Yeah, there was just nothing really catchy about it.
Yeah, I think within the context of an album, it might be a bit better. Like there's nothing wrong, there's nothing bad about it. I think it's a good track. It's just not catchy.
And finally, this week for Off the Press, we've got Depeche Mode with I don't know
Ghosts again.
Ghosts
again
for another time.
Yes,
once more again, and this shouldn't have been put on. This is just a bit boring.
My dad messaged me before saying he hopes that we're going to cover the Depeche Mode album when it's released on the podcast.
Sorry.
And then I was like, oh well, I don't want to make you day or anything, but we're covering the new single tonight. So shout out, Dad.
Shout out, Dad.
It's the first song that they've released without Fletch, who sadly died. It's decent, but it was just missing a bit of oomph.
Yeah,
I thought Dave's voice could have been shown off a little bit more because he's got a fantastic voice. There was parts of the music that I liked, but I don't know, it just doesn't really do all that much for me. I am sorry, Dad.
Yeah, it could have had a more interesting melody. It was a very stunted sort of singing style.
Yeah, I like the message behind it. Obviously, if it's not about Fletch, then
who's it about?
More for me. But so it's a nice premise, but I don't know, just could have had a bit more, a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I like the I do I like this. I like the intro a lot. I thought when it first started, I was like, "Oh, this is interesting." I've never really listened to the Depeche Mode. Don't know anything from them. I'm sure, like, I'd recognise the hits if they played, but I couldn't tell you them. I haven't got time. But when it started, I was like, "Oh, I like this. It sounds good. Like the bass, every part of it sounded great." As soon as old mate started singing, I just. I was like, "Oh, I'm just not with this," and then nothing really interesting happened after that.
Yeah, it kind of fell into that category of an old band trying to still make music, didn't it? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and they still got ideas, but then they can't write a full song still.
Just a bit of distortion, I think, would have done a bit.
Just a bit of like command backspace. Delete that file.
Yeah, don't hit publish.
Yeah, unbounce it.
Unbounce. Brilliant. And that's it. That's hot off the press.
Oh, that was hefty.
A chunky hot off the press because we've been gone away, like we've said numerous times already. Get over it, will you? God. But now we have an album spotlight. Just the one for now. Uno. Album spotlight. And we'll see you there once we've crossed that mystical river. Get in the boat, boys. Get in the fucking boat, boys.
It's the first time we've stopped at this station for quite a long old while, and I don't know about you, but I can see just one little light over on their own, over in the corner. I guess you could call him a Billy Nomates.
Hey,
didn't see that coming.
Brilliant.
Haha! Billy Nomates with Cacti is the album that we are about to cover. Liam is probably the biggest Billy Nomates fan in the room.
World.
Yanni arguably
wasn't.
Yes,
the bottomist.
He definitely wasn't the biggest Billy Nomates fan in the world. Has that changed upon listening to this record? We'll find out. I don't know why I'm taking the reins on this. Yanni normally does it, but we will start at the beginning with the song Balance Is Gone, which was released as a single prior to the release of the full album. It is a hard slapper. It cannot be denied. Billy's voice, fantastic. as I've said numerous times, I love the vocals. Melodic choices as well. Always a win when it comes to Billy Nomates. Fantastic intro to an album.
Yes, congratulations, Callum. Words. Balance is gone is good. I'm going to be really honest with you. My review of each individual track is not very detailed.
Fine, mate. It's fine.
First way back.
Thought about it loud.
This song is very enjoyable though. I first became accustomed to it from memory, at least, when I was round at Liam's, and he put the record on. I remember asking him, "What is this?" I don't know if you remember that, Liam, but I remember it like it were a couple of days ago, and I still find this enjoyable. Thank you, Billy, and your lack of friends.
Do you know what? I'll be your friend, Billy. Be Billy one mate for now. Billy one mate, mate with Liam. Billy mate with Liam. Balance has gone with Make Me Your Mate. Billy.
Oh, this is drawn out, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I think it's a great. I think this is a great song. Every like little music sound effect throughout it is great. There's like that part, and like the all that, and then like the guitar in the chorus is great. I love that guitar sound. And the vocals are stunning. Yeah, wonderful. Great way to open the album. One of the songs of the year for sure.
Wow.
That was quite the vocal effect earlier.
Yeah, it was. Next up, Black Curtains in the Bag. Billy, Nomates, you've got a great song in the bag. That was so shit. I'm so sorry. I really tried to come up with something on the spot then, but it just wasn't going to happen. This is a great song, man.
Yeah, it is. I was surprised to have a slower, softer song this early in the track list. I enjoyed it at the time. More on that later. The instrument... Oh, struggled on that one. The instrumentation is lovely, particularly the synth. And that horrific noise thing, that jump scare, did its job every time. I shat myself every listen.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Maybe it was just in the shop when I was listening to it.
Yeah, there's like a screechy kind of.
Yeah.
I'm listening to it now. God, that is loud actually. I'm listening to it. I've never noticed that before. No, yeah, I think this is a great song. The first time I listened to this album, I thought, kind of what you just said there, Cal. This seems far too early to have a slower song like this. Quite a darker song as well, musically. Especially after the kind of lively and some like seemingly upbeat Balance has gone. But the more I listen to it, I just think it's like it's just great. It's just really, really good.
Registered with me that it was a slow song, if I'm honest with you. Just kind of vibed with it.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Maybe you've got different expectations. But yeah,
none.
Yours are very low.
Yeah.
But no, I really, really like it. And it's just wonderful. I don't really have much more kind of technical.
Then stop trying to come up with things. Okay.
Stop.
Next
I
up,
want to stop.
We've got Blue Bones in brackets Death Wish. It's another slapper.
That it is. Liam, you talk about it because you like this one.
I mean, I think I've said many times this is one of my favourite songs of recent times. I think it's an absolute banger. It's so good. Every aspect, again, the guitar, the synth sounds, the drum sounds so good. Vocal stunning. You know what you're getting with Billy Nomates, which is all those things. And they're going to be in a slightly different pattern than others in each song. But you know you're going to have some sort of solid drum beat, some little good guitar line. The vocals are going to be solid. And this showcases that really well. Lyrics are great. And like just every time I listen to it, I just love it more and more. Really, really good song.
Yep.
Sound. Moving on to title track, Cacti. I'm going to be honest with you, this was my least favourite song.
So far, or in general?
So far, I think, until I tell you otherwise.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm the same.
It has its merits, but
yeah, I'm sorry.
Just after the run of songs we had before, it feels very weak. in comparison.
Yeah.
Comparatively.
Yeah. I do agree. I said that I like the O vocals.
I was just about to butt in and actually say the O vocals sound really good the way they pan around.
Yeah.
But I didn't need to, but I still did anyway.
Is my turn? I lost track of where we were up to.
Order!
I think the bass, like synth sound, whatever that is really good in this song, and I think the vocals are really good, really interesting vocal melodies and stuff. Especially when she sings like the higher parts and what have you. I just kind of think it's maybe just missing a few other parts. Which is what is not making it as good as it could be, kind of thing. But kind of like what I said before, I feel like you kind of, I can always listen to Billy Nomates, whatever song, even if I don't particularly like the song, because the elements are always kind of, you know what you're getting, and they're always good. But yeah, in terms of the actual song structure of this one, doesn't quite do it for me.
Yeah. Next up, we have Saboteur Force Field. Saboteur Force Field. This again is another slower one. I got I'm gonna have to get the fucking thing up here. I got what is their face? Clairo vibes musically. I don't know, just like the way it made me sort of feel. Made me feel warm and comforted.
Well,
Yeah.
this is my favourite so far. It
Wow.
too made
I
me
wasn't finished,
feel
but yeah, crack on, mate.
so warm and comforted. I was just jumping on that point, so you carry on.
I enjoyed this. Another pick up after Cacti. I did put it passed me by on my notes, but I'm listening to it now, and such a fool for putting that. I'm so sorry.
Such a fool. Yeah, I've
Very
said what I
fool.
wanted to say.
Yeah, it's really. I think she does a really good job of getting kind of the emotion across in this song. It feels very. You're right, Yanni. Very warm and comforting.
Thanks.
But also kind of emotional. So maybe comforting's not quite, but along those lines, yeah. And I just think it's another very good, well written song.
Yeah, next up we've got Roundabout Sadness. Different sounding one, more of like a live kind of feel with this, very roomy with the vocals going on. It was good to sort of have a change of style.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really mad on it, but like I feel like in context of the album, when you're listening to it, it's good to have something different like this at this point. So yeah, I'm sort of neither here or there with it.
Yeah, I'm the same. I like the merry-go-round sound. I think it's a cool idea, but it doesn't do much for me.
As Girls Loud once said, the sound of the merry-go-round. Yeah, no, it's an interesting one, I think, musically and the way she sings and stuff, but just doesn't quite do it for me. It could be shorter. I think actually I'd prefer if it was shorter and it'd be more of an interlude.
Yeah.
Whereas it just kind of stays its welcome a bit too long, really, to be an interlude. And
Might
it's not long enough to be a
even-
real song.
You could
so-
say it overstays its welcome.
Wow. That would be.
Yeah.
I wish I'd said that.
Yeah, I wish you had said that too. Yeah. Next up, we've got Spite. Now, my initial comment was this is cringy because it sounded very sort of like pop punky style with the guitars. But as it goes on, those feelings sort of dwindle away, and I like the sort of bouncy nature of it with the drums going on. And again, it's sort of like a newer sound, not a newer sound, a different sound for the album, which keeps it interesting at this point.
Yeah, it was a good tune. The heavier guitar being more prominent broke up the track list for me, and yeah, like Yanni says, kept it interesting.
Yeah, I agree with all those points. So the harmonies are really nice in the chorus, very well done. And I find myself just kind of singing this to myself all the time in my head.
Liam Nomates.
It's great to sing along to. Liam Nomates.
Liam Nomates. Next up, we have Fauna. Now, this is probably the medium I was listening to it through, which was just my phone speaker. But there's a weird note that gets played, and it was very clashy with everything else that was going on at certain points. And I'm listening to it again through headphones, and it's not as noticeable. It works in a sort of off-kilter way. And I do quite enjoy the song. It's quite peaceful.
Yep. This is one of my favourites on the record. I think it comes at the right time for an acoustic track to be in. Fuck, great English. Yeah, I don't know. In isolation, I think it's arguably one of her best songs. I don't know what point I'm making. I like the song. My notes really contradicted each other there. Where I wasn't sure if I liked it, the placement, or if I didn't. But I'm saying that I like it.
Yeah, so I'll talk. The first time I listened to this, it very much passed me by. I didn't really have any thoughts on it, but the more I listened to it, it's just very gentle, very nice and gentle. I think the guitar sounds really nice, the acoustic guitar, and the other instruments sound very nice, kind of coming in and out. And again, just the vocals on display there, wonderful. She's a great vocalist. She is.
Wunderbar. That's a reference to our... I'm not going to keep on mentioning this. Next up, we have Same Gun. This was all right. Not really got much more to add to that, to be honest.
I have nothing to add to that because I don't have that song in my notes.
I like the piano or synth sound, whatever's being played. It sounds like a piano.
Yeah.
I think that sounds very good. But other than that, yeah, this one's probably one of the weakest on the album for me, if not the weakest.
Yeah.
I think it's, again, like I said before, I still will listen to it and enjoy it because it's her. But as a song, it's just not really that exciting. I think maybe this album does suffer from having one or two songs many.
Yeah.
Two songs many.
Could be 10 songs and it'd be pretty perfect.
Yeah, and this is one that could go, in my opinion.
Definitely. Vertigo is the name of the next track. And again, I've not got much to really say about this one. It was all right again, but...
I think we're getting into the territory now where the songs are similar, so the notes are similar. But what I will say is I think this is a great example of what she does best. It's just been done numerous times.
Yeah, she kind of does her best quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I really like this. I think the chorus is great in this song. I'm breaking from the chorus back into the verse when that kind of blah, blah, blah sound. That was the worst sound I've done tonight.
Yeah, it was.
I can't really replicate that sound. But I hope you find it and know what I'm talking about. And the bass throughout the intro and throughout the song is really good as well. This has got that kind of definitely reminds me of kind of older Billy Nomates stuff. And also, like, you can see with the link between like Sleep with the Mods and stuff like that with this kind of track. Same universe.
Don't ruin it for me.
Well, they did a song together, didn't they? Mork and Mindy, which is
Action Man and Cindy.
Somewhat similar to this kind of in terms of a structure, and yeah, I enjoy Vertigo.
Sound. Next up, second to last, Apathy is Wild. Love all the little synth sounds going on in this. Vibey, man.
Vibey. Again, what I said about Vertigo. In isolation, this song I've got absolutely zero complaints about. However, just in the album, I'm just a bit like, I'm waiting for the end now.
Yeah, I completely agree. Again, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
Again.
I was trying to form them. In isolation, it's a good song, but yeah, within
bass
the
line is nice on this as well.
Nice
I think effect on the bass.
Yeah, definitely. And I think what you said there, Yanni, about the other little synthy sounds and stuff is what makes this album a step up from the first album. I feel like just generally production-wise and kind of filling a song out, she's done a much better job this way around. Not that it was bad the first time, but just a bit better this time around.
And finally, Blackout Signal. What a way to close the album. What a fantastic tune. I put, yeah, man. I love this. Cool drum sounds, that snare, very weird. And all the synths, little parts that come in and go out, and then just beautiful. And the vocals tip top towards the end when she starts giving it a bit.
Yeah.
Bit of welly.
Bit of
Yeah.
willy.
Yeah. Bang on about the no holds barred vocals at the end. My one slight gripe is that I wish the instrumentation matched that energy at the end. I think that's mainly the drums, but obviously with it being a drum machine, I don't know. I wished it just went a bit further in that regard. But the track itself is fantastic. It's a fantastic ender to the album.
Bit more reverb on that snare towards the end.
Just a bit more. It's just, I don't know, just a bit less. No, just a bit less on the beat. I don't know, a bit worse.
So you want us to start doing double time, ragtime?
I don't know. That's just what I thought.
Yeah, whatever, Callum.
Rethink.
This is great. It's a great end to this album in every way. I think it really ties together the stylings from the rest of the album, and those vocals at the end get me every single time. There's so much emotion.
Where do they get you, Liam? That's what we need to know.
Right there.
Nice.
It kind of, this makes me similar feeling to when they I feel like I don't want to say this. When Heroes is playing in Perks of Being a Wallflower through the tunnel.
And in this moment, we are infinite.
This song could be playing during that moment.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, you're spot on, but it was very funny to make that comparison.
Yeah, that's what I thought of anyway. Love that film.
Well done for saying it.
Great film.
It is, yeah.
That's spot on.
Good film abuse. Now we must rate this album. I can't wait for this part.
I'm scared.
I'm gonna go first because that's not how we do it.
I go first because, and I take the flack. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10.
My score has changed during the discussion of this album.
Always
does. Always does. No,
Such a
it's
sheep.
you get a general kind
So
of
is mine.
vibe
So
when
is
we
mine.
discuss music and we kind of get into it. It feels good. And likewise, when it's bad, it feels worse. In this instance, it's made it feel good, and I'm gonna give it a comfortable 8 out of 10.
Yeah, this is where I'm going to struggle, you see, because I actually hated the album and it was a complete lie, everything I've just said. No, before we were talking about it again, I would have said a 7. When I got to that last track just then when we were talking about it,
Yeah.
I wanted to bump it up to an 8,
It's different, isn't it?
but I'm going to go with 8.
Nice. I'm so
Start
surprised.
the
at that
year
number.
as we don't mean to go on with Yanni being generous.
Yeah, I think it's just because the surprise element of it as well. And for me to come away surprised at liking something, it's got to have something to it, magical. And this has it. And to be honest, I do want to listen to this right now again. So,
Wow. I've listened to it a lot. I find it, like I've said throughout this fucking whole discussion, I find it so easy to listen to. And like the older stuff as well. Like a voice is always great. And like the vocal melodies are always great. And that's kind of enough most of the time. So just something to throw on. Like Lydia said to me the other day, she's like, "You fucking loving this woman at the moment." I was like, "Yeah, but just because it's like, one, because I'm doing on the podcast, but also it's just easy to listen to." But I'm genuinely shocked, Jan. I think we talked about this like earlier in the week or last week, because I think you maybe started to listen to it or listen to some of it and didn't seem to enjoy it. So
I don't know what it is.
I'm glad for you that you've come around and you
just
found something you enjoy.
It needed to be at a specific time, and this time was that time.
Half an hour ago.
Yeah, half an hour ago.
I do think I prefer Emergency Telephone as a body of work. I know it's not an album, I know it's an EP, but that style.
I'm going to have to revisit that now, aren't I?
Yeah.
Bit heavier, just a bit more.
Heels is Petrol Fumes is my favourite song on that.
Heels is my favourite.
Heels is great as well, but Petrol Fumes is a wonderful song.
And that's the album spotlight section done and dusted, and it's also the end of this week's podcast.
Wow.
We hope you've enjoyed yourselves. We've enjoyed getting back to it. It's a chunky episode, so if you're still here, thank you. Like the video, subscribe, do all those things that you should do. Go to the links below to find everything. If you're interested in what records we've got, our Discogs are there.
They are, yeah.
Just
And
if you
Under the
wanna check it
Needle
out.
will be out soon.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. We're like 3 months behind on that.
Yeah. And
It might
if
be a
you-
best of Under the Needle because I can't be bothered doing them all.
No.
Have you had a lot? Have you, Cal? I haven't had that many since.
I've had a fair bit because it's my birthday on it as well as Christmas.
Oh,
so.
get over yourself.
Oh shit, yeah. Forgot you had a birthday. How often's
You
that
have
again? And if you've not watched it, I know I've mentioned it a lot, but it's because a lot of effort went into it. Go watch the Falls Awards show. It's
Share
very,
it as well.
Very
You
good.
fucking ungrateful bitch.
Leave a comment. Leave a comment and tell us we're shit if you want. If that's what your thought is, leave it. If not, if that's not your thought, don't leave a comment.
If you
I only want that thought.
If you are perplexed at how we've managed to do a 1 hour 15 podcast with just 2 cuts in between segments, think of how long it took us to make a 15-minute video where we have to be what we think is funny.
When we found out that was 15 minutes, I was so heartbroken. That was so long. It took us so long to do that.
With external
glad
clips
it
as well.
Yeah, no, it's the best case scenario. We didn't
Yeah.
need to be any longer, but
Yeah.
I was like, what? It took us hours to do that.
Hours.
Literal hours, yeah.
Because we're consummate professionals and we
Yeah.
like to consummate with each other
Yeah. I was quite constipated.
between takes.
Thank you very much for watching and listening and all those special things. We hope you have a good rest of your week.
That was very serious. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
And go fuck yourself.
That's what I like it.
Go fuck yourself.
I'm putting on my slippers. I've just put them on the radiator. I'm going to put them on nice and toasty.
Nice.
Nice.
I have to do that sometimes because my slippers are perpetually damp. Because I've got sweaty feet.
God's
They
sake.
are these types of slippers.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, but if you wear them barefoot, they're just wet all the
I
time.
only have
So
human feet, mate. Sorry.
they're fine when you've got them on. As soon as you take them off and put them back on again, it's like, oh, this swampy fucking.
I don't get sweaty feet. It's just these slippers.
I've just started just trying to wear socks all the time. Like I'll get up, put socks on, put them on.
I
which
know.
seems
I wear
stupid,
socks.
Oh, I
as
can't
well.
do that. Nah.
I don't get the dampness when I wear socks. I'm all right with
The
that.
best thing about finishing work is getting home and taking my socks off. Just,
Oh, you're a hard-working lad, aren't you?
I am.
Days don't bits.